Good almost noon, everybody. I'm happy to see you all here. My name is Dr. Ran Livni. I'm the head of the Patricia Sarah Ashkenazi Religious School of Congregation Bethel, Temple Israel, and Kilat Bet HaMidrash. We are thrilled to have with us today Casey Breton, the author of this fascinating book, Going Rogue at Hebrew School. This is a book, I read it, it's a lot of food for thoughts for everyone who deal with the grievances of Jewish supplementary education. So we'll hear from her in a moment. Before we start, I would like to give you some housekeeping rules for our meeting. There are two ways to view this program. There is a speaker view, where you'll only see the speaker, and what we have come to call the Brady Bunch view, which is where you can see many people on the screen at once. We suggest that you choose a speaker view for today. If you're on a computer, you can find the upper right hand side of your screen. If you're on a phone, you will see it on the bottom right. And please, please, please make sure to keep yourself muted until told otherwise. When you ask questions, you will be able to chat them. This program is brought to us today by the PJ Our Way in Tidewater as part of the Lee and Bernard Jaffe Family Jewish Book Festival in partnership with Ohev Shalom Temple Religious School, Patricia Sarah Ashkenazi Religious School, and Temple Emmanuel Religious School. Before I pass the speaking to Casey, I would like to give some introductory information about her. Casey Breton lives in Gloucester, Massachusetts with her husband and 3 sons. She's a former elementary school teacher, and Casey took a leap of faith to pursue her dream of writing books for young readers. Casey is a recipient of the PJ Our Way Author Incentive Award and the 2020 Storyteller in Residence for Gloucester Fish Tales, a series of live storytelling events for grown-up. So thank you, Casey, for coming here and sharing your book with us. And I'm pleased to pass the speaking to you.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. If it's possible, could you put yourself on video so I can see all of your shining faces? I see Braden, Alex, Shayna, good morning. Hi, Mark. Jared, hi, Josh. Hi, Jared. Hi, Grayson. I don't see you yet, but I'm picturing you. Hannah, Molly, Robin. So if you can, it's just fun for me to be able to see your faces. If you can't, no worries. I know you're there. Bagels and Lox. Where's Bagels and Lox? Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see you. We're going to have a great morning. My name is Casey, as I was introduced, and I'm the author of this book, Going Rogue at Hebrew School. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you more about my book. But for now, I want to tell you how happy I am to see you all and to thank you for coming and to let you know we're going to have a good time. So let's get started. Oh, and I also want to tell you, you'll be able to chat with me. So if you want to send a message or communicate with me, you can send it through a chat. You can also do a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay? And that's how we'll stay connected. So you might be wondering where I am right now. I live in Gloucester, Massachusetts, which is a beautiful beach town just north of Boston. And to give you a picture, I have a picture of where I live. So let's show you where I live. Here we are. Can everyone see that? Give me a thumbs up. Shanna, I see you. So yeah, if I know you're giving me a thumbs up, that's good. Thank you, sweetheart. So here's where I live. You can see Good Harbor Beach. Like I've said, oh, let me move this here. It's a beach town, so we're very close to the beach. This is one of my most favorite beaches. It's so beautiful, as you can see. Here's like the downtown area, right on the water. And if there are any sports fans out there, you have to know we're home of the Boston Celtics and the New England Patriots, which I have been told people outside of New England do not like. Yeah, I know, I'm used to this by now, but we are home to the Patriots. So long, Tom Brady. We're over it. Okay, any sports fans out there? Yeah. Okay, me too. Well, most sports. One thing you should know about Gloucester is that it's America's oldest working seaport, which means a lot of fish have been caught in this town. If you've ever seen Gorton's fish sticks, they come from Gloucester. But I've never been to Virginia. I've never been to Tidewater. And I want to know something about where you live. So can you please tell me something about Tidewater, Virginia, your neighborhood, even if it's just what the weather is today? Go ahead and type that in. Josh, I saw your hand up there. You can go ahead and the Washington Wizards, the Steelers. We got some fans out there from Pittsburgh. So tell me something about Tidewater. I'm guessing it's also a beach town, right? Just from the name. You live near the beach too. Is there surfing near where you live? Yeah. And the bay. Thanks, Braden. The weather in Virginia changes a lot. You like the bay more than the beach. It's funny here too. We have like calmer water and then there's like beaches with waves. So we kind of have a choice like that too. The weather forecast is never accurate. Well, in New England, they say if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. So it sounds like Virginia, kind of a similar situation. Norfolk has a large Navy base. I've heard of that. Someday I'll have to take a drive down there. I think it's probably a little warmer here. Anyone else want to share about where you live? Even if it's your neighborhood. I'm trying to picture where you are. Josh, you got your hand up? What do you want to say?
Yes, there is, like, by the ocean, there's a lot of, like, dolphin statues. Everywhere you'll see different dolphin statues, different colors, different shapes and stuff. It's pretty
Do you see a lot of dolphins?
Yes.
You want to know something funny? Just this morning, I was working on a new book, and I just wrote a part where the main character sees dolphins. It's a pretty good coincidence. Now, I'm going to take that as a sign that I wrote something good. You know, you got to find signs where they are. Oh, large Amtrak station. A marsh. We also live near marshes. Fantastic. Nice. All right, Josh, just there you go. Okay. So I want to play a little game with you guys. It's called Two Truths and a Lie. Have you ever played that before? Okay. So what we're going to do, let me see here, is I'm going to share my screen with you again. And I'm going to put up two truths and a lie. We're going to have 3 rounds. And I'm going to tell you 3 things, but one of them is a lie. One of them is not true. And what I want you to do is hold up the finger, 1, 2, or 3, to match the thing that you think is not true about me. Ready? 1, I grew up in California. 2, I learned how to surf in Gloucester. Or 3, I once saw a shark while surfing. 1, 2, or 3. What do you think is not true? I see 3s, 2s, 2, 3. All right, well, if you guessed that I once saw a shark while surfing, you are correct because I did not ever see a shark while surfing. But I did learn how to surf in Gloucester, and I did grow up in California. Thank goodness I didn't see a shark while surfing. That would have probably freaked me out. All right, next one. Now this is a little bit of a quiz because in the introduction, there was a clue that might help you with this one. 1, I have 3 daughters. 2, I used to teach 3rd grade. Or 3, I had a bat mitzvah when I was 17. Which one of those is not true? Okay, we've got, I see 2. Who else? Hold up 1, 2, or 3. 1. Okay, I'm gonna find out who was really listening in that introduction. Any others? Let me see if I can see any more fingers. 2, okay. If you guessed that I have 3 daughters, you are correct because I have 3 sons. I did used to teach 3rd grade And I did have a bat mitzvah when I was 17, but I do not have 3 daughters. I have 3 sons, and they are outside right now doing something crazy. All right, last one. Number 1, chickens live in my backyard. 2, I wrote going rogue at Hebrew school in 1 week. Or 3, I visit my family in Israel every year. Which one of those is not true? All right, I see a 3, I see a 1, I see 2 2s. That's good. I think variety is good. That means I've stumped people. Anyone else? 3, 1. All right. If you guessed that I wrote going rogue at Hebrew school in 1 week, you are correct. I did not write it in 1 week. It took me a lot longer than 1 week. And in fact, I'm going to show you. Hold on. Oh, it's so heavy. Whoa. Can you guys see this? Let me see if I can toggle my screen a little bit. Hold on. Can you guys see this huge, oh, I'm like breaking a sweat holding it. Can you guys see this huge stack of papers? These are some, oh, thunk. Oh my gosh, I really did break a sweat holding that. Those are some of the drafts that I wrote to produce this book, which is very light, but very heavy with meaning. So it took me way more than 1 week. It took me several months and then draft after draft after draft. If you don't like rewriting, writing a book is be very hard because you got to just rewrite and rewrite and rewrite, and it takes way more than a week. Okay, but I do have chickens living in my backyard in case you were thinking that wasn't true. I've got 2 chickens in my backyard, and I do visit my family every year in Israel. Okay, where are we here? Let me get out of the screen share. Hold on, guys. I'm not as good as you kids, honest to God. There we are, thank you. I get lost in my screen. Okay, so now I'm gonna share my screen again because I wanna show you a close-up of the cover, and we're just gonna take a look at the cover for just a minute. Bear with me, here we are. Okay, can you all see the cover? Thank you. I love that clear thumbs up. I know that you're with me. So take a look at the cover and go ahead and type in the chat what you see. What do you notice? Will I be able to share and chat, Jake? I don't think I can. Oh goodness. I'll have to check your comments after, but go ahead and type it in. I'll read them after. It's true, you should never judge a book by its cover, but sometimes it's really fun to get a clue about what the book is about from looking at the cover. Do you guys think that the cover gives away any clues about what this book is going to be about? What do you think? From looking at the cover, do you have a sense of where it might head? Yeah, you think so? I think it does. Not too much though, not too much. All right, let me come out of here. There we are. Hi guys. All right, let's see. Do you always have short hair? Did you always have short hair and wear a kippah? I usually don't wear a kippah, but I've seen some long shaggy haired people wearing a kippah. Nah, you can't. Yes, a red light. Yes, there is a red light. Red pill, blue pill. Mysterious. That everything is textured. It's true. I didn't draw the cover. There was an illustrator who did that, and she added like some texture, which I think makes it kind of starry. I like that texture. The red light is definitely a clue. There's a boy going through a red door, also a clue. Matrix reference. I know, I have to see it. I have to see it. Okay. So the main character in the book is named Avery, and he has 3 big passions: football, science, and Star Wars. But before we learn about Avery, I want to learn a little bit about you. Tell me what's one thing that you're passionate about. Go ahead and type it in the chat. Tell me something that you love doing, one of your passions, something you're a fan of. Art, Star Wars, tennis, soccer. We've got some athletes here. Artists, pirates, art and sports, soccer, watching the Washington Wizards. Nice. School, impressive, Josh. playing basketball. One of my kids is super passionate about basketball, gymnastics, art. A lot of art is here. That's fantastic. School, Baby Yoda. Oh my goodness. My kids also like to watch The Mandalorian. Reading, art, football. So if there's any football fans, you're going to connect with this main character because he really loves football. The Mandalorian, soccer, art, athletes and artists. What a perfect combination. That's great. So as you know, one of my passions is writing, and another one of my passions is surfing. I'm horrible at surfing, but I still do it and I love it. They say the best surfer on the beach is the one having the most fun. So I like to think of myself as the best surfer on the beach, even though it's a disaster watching me. All right. I want to read a few pages from my book. Sound good? So I'm going to share my screen with you again so you can follow along. Let's see where we are. All right. So can everyone see that first page? Thank you for the thumbs up. I so appreciate it. Okay, we're going to start in the middle of the page. You can read along with me where it says Shalom. All right, here we go. Let me just take a sip here. Shalom Avraham. He bellows across the room. That's the rabbi, bellows across the room. Welcome to the goodliness of our tent. My face turns burning hot from embarrassment. Why is he calling me Avraham? Everyone here knows to call me by my real name. And so much for an undetected sly entrance. Plus, I don't even know what the goodliness of our tent even means. Rabbi Bob does this big sweeping gesture with his hand along the front row and says, please, young Padawan, find a seat a bit closer to the action. Aside from thinking I might die from embarrassment and working very hard not to wet myself from fear that he will make me do a solo performance of Ma Tovu, I am also thinking I might have hearing problems. Did he call me young Padawan? I shuffle up to the front row and try not to puke. I have never been this close to the bima in my life. Rabbi Bob looks straight at me and says, better that is, in a voice that sounds strangely like Yoda. He turns to the rest of the class. Looks like I'm off the hook for now. This Rabbi Bob seems very unpredictable. Better keep an eye on him. Kids, he continues in a regular voice, as the rabbi of this synagogue, you know I have a pretty big job, don't you? Gideon raises his hand. Oh, I forgot to mention, you're going to meet Gideon, and you're going to also meet little Basha. So you're going to see some of his classmates. The rest should all make sense. And they're in Hebrew school, obviously. Okay. Gideon raises his hand. He's sitting next to me, chewing on a wad of gum extremely loudly. His jaw is chomping up and down as he sputters out, I thought you said you were temporary. I slap my forehead. I'm afraid Gideon's mouth is going to get us all killed. He blows a ginormous bubble, and when it pops, it covers the entire bottom half of his face. Can't wait to get rid of me, eh? Rabbi Bob says. You should talk to my wife. She's been stuck with me for 40 years. After a really awkward minute of watching Gideon peel gum off his face and Rabbi Bob crack up over his own weird joke, he continues. You're right, Gideon. I'll only be here a little while, but in that time, as your rabbi, I still have a pretty big job. He looks around the room and asks, does anyone here know about the Force? Excuse me? My heart starts racing. I sit a little bit taller, but I won't raise my hand, even though I totally know about the Force. The mean lunch ladies at school force me to sit down when we're eating, little Basha blurts out, which I think is preposterous, because what kind of animal sits when she eats? Not horses, not rabbits, not parrots, nothing. Little Basha's hands don't stop moving until she says, except for baby chipmunks. Sometimes they sit when they eat. But then her hands start flying around again when she says, so I know all about the Force, and I know what preposterous means. It means very stupid. Rabbi Bob chuckles. Preposterous indeed, little Basha. And yes, that is one kind of force. But I'm thinking of a much bigger force. I'm thinking of the Force. It doesn't matter that I'm not raising my hand because Rabbi Bob calls on me anyway. Avraham, you strike me as someone familiar with the Force. Am I right? It's probably my Jar Jar Binks t-shirt that tipped him off. I nod, full of regret over my unfortunate wardrobe decision. Enlighten us, you will, he says in that Yoda voice again. Gideon twists around and gives me an enthusiastic thumbs up. He's in the middle of blowing a bubble practically the size of his entire head, and it's bobbling in my face. All of a sudden, the thing launches out of his mouth like a round wobbly rocket and explodes on my chest, square on Jar Jar Binks' snout. Yikes, Rabbi Bob cries out. I can see Gideon was not expecting this either. Sorry, Avery, Gideon says as he leaps from his seat to help save Jar Jar from bubblegum suffocation. He peels off the thin layer of gum that coated my shirt, pops it back in his mouth. All better, he whispers sincerely, then stumbles back into his seat. A fine execution, Gideon, Rabbi Bob chuckles. He cheerfully claps his hands together and remembers what I wish he'd forgotten. So, my young Padawans, shall we get back to it? Avraham, I believe you were just about to explain the Force to us. There isn't anything about Star Wars I can't explain. I figure I might as well get this over with. The Force is a mystical energy that flows through all living things and binds everything in the galaxy together, I say. Everyone has the Force in them, but some people feel it more strongly. Those are the ones selected to become Jedis. I take a deep breath. And can you call me by my real name? It's Avery. Yes, of course, Avery. And you are exactly right about the Force. Now, he continues, I'd like you to say the exact same thing, but instead of the Force, say God. I feel confused and I'm positive that my face has turned bright red, but I try to follow his instructions. God is a mystical energy that flows through all living things and binds everything in the galaxy together. Everyone has God in them, but some people feel it more strongly. Those are the ones selected to become Jedis? Kids laugh and I feel like a complete idiot. But Rabbi Bob smiles and says, yes, that's right, in a very nice way that shrinks my idiot feeling. You may not know this, but rabbis are a lot like Jedi Masters, he says. I find this very hard to believe, but listen anyway. And all of you, he strokes his white beard, are like my Padawans. You all have the Force inside of you. My big job is to teach you how to see it and use it. Once you know how to do that, then Rabbi Bob wrinkles his forehead, squats down, and clears his throat. He finishes his sentence in Yoda's voice. Then bring you closer to God it will. I've got to be honest here. I don't buy it. It's like I said, there are only 3 things I'm interested in getting closer to. God isn't one of them. So now you have a little sense of Avery and what he's thinking and feeling. By the way, Avraham is his Hebrew name. I know sometimes in Hebrew school, kids go by their Hebrew names. Any of you have a Hebrew name? Thumbs up? Yeah, Alex, you do? Braden, you do? So Avery's Hebrew name is Avraham. Okay, after that scene I read, Avery begins to suspect that Rabbi Bob, this mysterious new rabbi, happens to be a Jedi Master, which would be totally insane. But you have to read it to find out if his hunch is correct. Now I thought we would play a game. Have any of you ever played Kahoot before? Shayna, you've played Kahoot? Kenna, have you played Kahoot before? Maybe. Who else? Who else do we have here? It's funny, I can see some of your names, but I can't see all of your names. All right, we're gonna play Kahoot. And the version we're gonna play is based on my book, but don't worry, you don't have to have read the book to play the game. And it's not a real quiz, it's just for fun. The questions are all based on themes in my book, like Star Wars, Judaism, football, science. So if you are a fan of football, you're gonna ace this. Star Wars, same. And even if you just guess, go for it. There will be 10 questions and you'll have 20 seconds for each question. So I'm going to share my screen with you to help you get set up. And what you'll need to do is copy and paste the Kahoot link. Unless you have the app, you can use the app. And then put it into your device. I think, well, you could go for what it feels right to you. I know people have good luck using their phone. So Shane, I see you've got your phone ready. So it does seem to work really easy with a phone, but use whatever you've got. Let me share my screen with you to get you the link. And then here's Kahoot. Hold on, sorry. There we go. The Kahoot music is part of my favorite. All right, loading game pin. So you're gonna join at, there we are. Turn the music down a bit. You join at this website, www.kahoot.it, and then you're gonna enter that game pin. And then it'll prompt you for a nickname for yourself. Shanna, you're fast. Let's see if I can move. Josh, you're in. Oops. Braden, welcome. This takes a couple of minutes, so just bear with us. Hi, Darth Grayson, Elijah, Hannah, or Hannah, Sammy, Robin, I see you. You're all popping in. Renoa. Who else do we have? Oh, Nofar's in there. Kenna. If you have any trouble, go ahead and text, because I know Jake is here to help with any tech issues. So if you do get stuck, don't worry. We've got help on the way. Little face. Do a little face there. Baby Yoda. That'd be so cute if Baby Yoda really was playing. I'll give it another minute just for the rest of you all to pop in. Who else do we have here? Fine. Oh, hi, Molly. Is anyone having trouble getting in? All right, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna give it just a few more seconds in case there's any stragglers. Okay. Should we get started? Let's do it. Here we go. That's you, Virginia. All right, number one, which current football player in the NFL is Jewish? DJ Moore, Julian Edelman, Juju Smith-Schuster, or Christian McCaffrey? So you're gonna pick the color and the shape that matches the one you think. All right, if you guessed Julian Edelman, you are correct. See? We've got a lot of people who knew that one. Hannah, you're in the lead. It goes by correctness and speed. So if you can get the answer fast, go for it. 2, which Star Wars actor is fluent in Hebrew? Natalie Portman, who's Padme Amidala, Jar Jar Binks, Mark Hamill, who's Luke Skywalker, or BB-8? Which Star Wars actor is fluent in Hebrew? If you guessed Natalie Portman, you are correct. All right, we got some shifting. Robin's in the lead, but still anyone's game. Avery tries to make an explosion with elephant toothpaste, which is not an ingredient in elephant toothpaste. For the scientists out there, dish soap, yeast, hydrogen peroxide, or baking soda. One of those is not used in elephant toothpaste. Sorry to all the parents whose kids are going to want to make elephant toothpaste after this. All right. If you guessed baking soda, you are correct. All right, Kenna, you're on fire. See those little flames? That means you're on fire. All right. Number 4. Which Star Wars character does not use a red lightsaber? Count Dooku, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Maul, or Darth Vader does not use a red lightsaber? If you guessed Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are correct. All right, Darth Grayson. I'm going to guess you use a red lightsaber, Darth Grayson. All right. Next one. True or false? The famous long shot pass in football is called the Hail Mary. True or false? True, it is. Sometimes you'll hear people use Hail Mary to throw a Hail Mary for things not related to football. Kind of an act of desperation when you've got just a long shot try. Kenna, you're still in the lead. 6 out of 10. Avery loves to make stinky potions. What ingredient comes from a tree and smells horrible? Pine needles, sap, ginkgo berries, or acorns? Which of these ingredients comes from a tree and smells horrible? And if you've smelled this thing, you'll know what I'm talking about. Ginkgo berries. It's hard to believe that something from a tree could smell so bad. How are we doing here? Darth Grayson, you're in the lead, but not by much. 7 out of 10. In which Middle Eastern country were scenes from the Star Wars film The Rise of Skywalker filmed? Saudi Arabia, Israel, Jordan, or Yemen? The Rise of Skywalker had some scenes filmed in one of those Middle Eastern countries. If you guessed Jordan, you are correct. Woo, no fire. You are now on fire in second place. 8 out of 10. Avery's team plays an exciting game against the Seahawks. True or false? The real Seahawks are from Virginia. True or false? Are the Seahawks from Virginia? You got a 50-50 on this one. False. False. Sadly, I know that Virginia doesn't have a professional football team, what's that all about? Brayden, you are now in the lead, but really, this is still anyone's game. 9 out of 10. Avery can't believe there was ever a storm of fire and ice. Which of the following is another Passover plague? So you have to think about what you know of the Passover plagues. Death of the family goldfish, turning water to blood, lizard takeover, or drought for 200 years. One of those is a real Passover plague. If you guessed turning water to blood, you were paying attention that day. Brayden, you are in the lead with 67. Last question. Avery likes to learn Yiddish words from his grandma. What is the Yiddish word for craziness? Meshugas, tuchus, schmaltz, or schmata? One of those means craziness in Yiddish. Meshugas means craziness. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Here's the podium. In third place with 8 out of 10 is Alex. In second place is Brayden. And in first place, 9 out of 10, 7,343 is Entram. I think that's you, Nofar. Oh, we got some runners up too. Hold on. Oh, sorry, runners up. I missed you. But Good job, everyone. Fantastic. Let me, oh, I'm lost again. Lost, here we are. Great. I hope you had fun with that. My kids love Kahoot. They want to play Kahoot, like the same game over and over and over, I guess, so that they can get higher points. Let's see, what time is it? It's 12:07. We have enough time for, I could read you another passage, and I want to do Q&A, and I also have a funny, weird video to show you for my book. What should we do? Do you have a, give me a thumbs up if you want to watch the little video that I made. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. And I'll share my screen with you one more time, and then we'll have, the video's like 2 minutes. My kids and I made it. So you'll see my kids and how dorky we all are. It's about 2 minutes long. Are you ready? Get set. That's when my hair was a bit shorter and it was warmer outside.
10 years old, you know what you know. Maybe
Can you see it?
out with your friends. Maybe it's long summer days. Maybe it's watching movies. Whatever it may be for you, know it and you like it. Now, remember all the things your parents made you do that you didn't like. Dentist, anyone? Cleaning your room. Apologizing to your sister even though it is totally not your fault that her toy broke. Well, for Avery Green, the main character in Going Rogue at Hebrew School, he knows what he likes too. Star Wars, science, football. And he knows what he doesn't like. In fact, what he hates, and that would be, without a doubt, going to Hebrew school. What makes going to Hebrew school even worse is that no one has been able to give Avery a good answer as to why he even discovered it. Believe me, Avery has asked every week for many years. Then one day at Hebrew school, Avery makes an unusual discovery. Coming from the crack in the door of the new rabbi's office, there is a mysterious red glow and the unmistakable hum of, could it be a lightsaber? Readers will join Avery in his quest to reveal the truth about Rabbi Bob. Along the way, might we also, once and for all, find the answer to the question children have been asking for millennia.
Why do you have to go to Hebrew school?
Whoa, hold on. Hold on. Oh, goodness. Okay, hold on. Where are we? Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Did I lose you?
No, Casey, you're here. You're all good.
Where? I don't see anybody.
You just got to get back to Zoom. Just click on the Zoom application.
Oh, my goodness. You all disappeared. I'm on Zoom, but I don't see. Hold on. There we are. Oh, hi, guys. Good to see you. Okay, that's my goofy video featuring one of my kids. The other one was behind the camera. The other one was probably driving me crazy, to be honest with you. Okay, anyone have any questions for me about my book, about writing a book, about the chickens in my backyard? This would be the perfect time to ask any questions you have for me, and I do love your questions. That's my favorite part of all of this. So go ahead and type in anything you want to ask. Bagels and Locks is asking me, well, hold on, let's do Jared first. What inspired you to write this book? That is a very good question, Jared. My kids inspired me to write this book, to be perfectly honest. And it's true, they did ask me every week why they have to go to Hebrew school. And I gave every possible answer I could think of. I gave short answers, long answers, middle in between answers, funny answers, serious answers. I'm sure more than once I said, because I said so. And it just came up so much. I thought, you know what, I'm going to write a story about this. And the amazing thing is I thought stupidly that if I came up with the perfect answer and I wrote a book about it, then my kids would understand and they would stop asking me. But what happened is, as I was writing the book, I started to realize that the question is amazing. And I started to appreciate the question itself. And I learned over time is that there isn't one answer, that for every person, it's going to be different why they go to Hebrew school. And even the same person over time, the answer is going to change. So I really wanted to write a story that honors that question, because a lot of kids ask it. And I think it's an amazing question. So that was my inspiration. So Bagels and Locke asks, is your book a published book? It is a published book, which I'm very grateful for. I don't know if I'm a famous author yet, Renoa, but I appreciate your vote of confidence in me. But how did I become an author? I just wrote a lot. This is not the first book I wrote, but it's the first published one. And I just write a lot, and basically don't give up. My motto is just don't stop. So that's what I'm doing. My favorite book, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. That's like asking who's my favorite child. I love so many books. Right off the top of my head, I love Charlotte's Web. And I just finished reading Holes with one of my kids, and that was a great book. Those are two of my top favorites. Oh, has anyone read The Wild Robot? I loved that book. You read it? Alex, that's another one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites. What inspired you to make such, oh, thank you for saying it's a good book. I think just this like, I guess that's what a passion is, right? When you're passionate about something, you just want to keep doing it. So I think that's what made me want to do it. When did I start writing? Probably when I was your age. I remember writing a lot of poems that rhymed. And then I think it was when I started having babies that I started writing again. And that was sort of like my fun thing to do. How long have I been writing? So I've been writing for a long time. I've been writing in a dedicated way. Let's see who asked me that. Shayna. Oh no. Alex. How long have I been writing? So I wrote when I was a kid, and I wrote in high school and college. I loved writing, and then I stopped, and then I started again probably like I would say 12 years ago. I've been writing in a committed sort of way. Oliver Twist. Yo, Faye, Jared. Bagels and Lox. How many people have? I don't know. That's a good question that I want the answer to. I don't know, Bagels and Lox, how many people have got my book. But hopefully one day I'll find out. What was my first book called? Well, it's not my first book, but my first like novel, I would say, that is not published. I called David and Goldie, but I want to rework that, and I think I'll give it a different title when I rework it. But it was called David and Goldie. How do I come up? You guys are very kind. Thank you for saying that they're good ideas. So how do I come up with such good ideas? A lot of my good ideas happen in the shower. And I'm also a swimmer. So a lot of my ideas happen when I'm swimming or if I'm in water. I think I might be part fish, to be honest with you. So my ideas usually come when I'm wet, if that makes sense. I would love to come, hi Renoa, I would love to come visit in Tidewater next year. That would be wonderful. One of my very closest friends is from Virginia. She's from South Boston, Virginia. I don't know if you know where that is. She says it's a tiny town, and she also wants me to come to Virginia. Kenna's asking, do I have any pets that are not chickens? Yes. We also have a hamster named DJ, who's very cute. Alex, how long have you been teaching and what is my favorite sport? So I'm not teaching anymore. I taught for probably, how long did I teach? Maybe about 8 years. I taught elementary school. And then my favorite sport is surfing and skiing. I'm not good with balls. So any sport involving a ball is usually a disaster for me. But if it has to do with water, I'm a little bit more coordinated. So I would say surfing and skiing are my 2 favorite sports for sure. Alex, you have a lot of questions and I am so grateful. How long have you been living in Massachusetts? I have been living here for, I have to think. Let's see, 2000, oh my goodness, almost 20 years. Wow. How old are my sons? They are 8, 10, and 12. Kenna, to answer your question, they're 8, 10, and 12. So I have a 3rd grader, a 5th grader, and a 7th grader. Renaud, I probably don't like Star Wars more than your daddy likes Star Wars. And I have to tell you, so my kids went through a super intense, they still like Star Wars. They really like The Mandalorian. It's not as crazy as it used to be. They used to be obsessed, I would say. It's simmered down a little. So my inspiration for the Star Wars in the book, I kind of absorbed it because it was just in the house. I kind of absorbed it. But when I was a kid, I didn't really get into Star Wars. So I came to a little bit later in life. It's just in the air in my house. I should. That's what my kids tell me. All right. We have a battleship number 63 at Nauticus Museum in Norfolk, Virginia. I already want to come, and now I have one more reason. What are my sons' names? Kenna. So I have, let's start with the youngest. I have a Gabriel. I have a Sali or Solomon. And I have an Erez or Erez. When we go to Israel, he's Erez. And here we call him Erez. Thank you, Alex. And may the force be with you. That's isn't that a good phrase for these times? Are you getting, oh, I see them. I see Baby Yoda. I see the Star Wars toys. My mom, I talked to my mom this morning and she was telling me, I wonder if it's one of these toys. Do those dolls listen to you or talk to you? The Baby Yoda. Okay. My mom was telling me, I think my mom wants to get it for herself. I'm going to be honest with you. She said it's the cutest thing in the world and it talks back to you or it listens to you. COVID-19 sucks. I know it does, but we're going to get through this and we're going to be stronger afterwards. I believe that. I know. Kenna, what was your most, so the book that I'm writing now, so who was it that saw dolphins or told me about the dolphins? I think it was Jared. Someone was telling me about dolphins. I'm sorry. I don't remember. But, and then I mentioned that I was writing, it was you, Josh? Okay. So, so this morning I was writing, my most recent book. I think I'm about halfway through it. That would be my most recent. I just wrote about dolphins and it's about a girl with a passion for surfing. And she's preparing for a bat mitzvah. That's what I'm going to say for now. Hopefully one day you'll be able to turn the pages and read it. Grogo is very cute. I can barely breathe in my, I know. Alex, sorry, is saying I can barely breathe in my mask. It feels so good when I take off my mask. So I totally know what you mean. I've heard some of you maybe wear glasses. My husband wears glasses and he has the fogging problem where anyone who wears glasses, yes, I see you, Renaud, yes, with your glasses, and maybe they fog up and it drives them crazy. So I know the fogging is a problem, but I think, I'm going to tell you something a little embarrassing. I went out for a walk yesterday. I had my mask on. I came into my house and I was making dinner and I forgot to take I was actually making dinner with my mask on. I totally forgot it was there. So I think I've gotten used to it, which is a little strange. Bagels and Locks is asking, are you looking forward to making more books? Yes, that's capital Y, capital E, capital S, such as some books for kids or just for adults. Not so much for adults. I do have one manuscript that's for young adults, so like for teenagers. And the one that I'm working on now is like middle grade. So I'd say 10 years old, 11 years old. And that is, so we're talking about COVID and this pandemic. Writing has been my therapy. That's every morning I wake up and I go into my little writing world, and it's a happy place. So I'm always looking forward to making more books. Alex, I don't know how I forgot that I had my mask on. It was my cozy mask. And I don't know, it was my cozy mask. Now that it's getting cold out here, when I go for walks, it actually keeps my face warm, keeps my chin warm. So it's not as bad. In the summer, it was very, very uncomfortable, but a little bit better now. Any more questions? You guys are so fantastic. I just love reading your questions and seeing your faces, and I'm imagining the faces behind the names. Bagels and Locks especially, and Grayson and Sammy. Okay, one more. It looks like we have time for one more question. Do you think you will still be writing when, oh yes, when COVID-19 is over, because of quarantine being over once it's over? 150% yes. Yes, I will be writing during the pandemic and after the pandemic. Anything else? Any other questions? Oh yeah. Shayna, you're asking what is, I like the pink ceiling in your room, by the way. To me, it looks kind of purplish. My full-time job, no, writing is not my full-time job. Writing is like, I squeeze it in all the little empty spaces. Well, there aren't so many empty. So I have 3 kids. I also have a job, a part-time job, where I work in a store in my town. And I love going there. And then I write, and then I raise my kids. And actually this year I'm homeschooling my kids. So I guess I'm back to being a teacher. We decided that it might be a fun experiment to take our kids out of school this year and do a homeschool thing. So the jury is still out how successful it is, but I think overall it's going pretty well. So yeah, now my full-time job is back to teaching, but I'm teaching my own kids, which is totally different than teaching other people's kids. Blushes. All right, my friends, I think we're just about at time. I have loved every minute. I will tell you, if you want, if I was with you in person, I would be signing your books and I would be writing you messages. But instead of that, this year, I have little stickers that I can mail to you with my signature, and I'll write you a little message. So if you get my book and you want to put a sticker inside, I will write you a message and send it to, probably send it to your school, and then they can give you the sticker. It looks like, I can show you what it looks like. It's a little sticker. It goes inside the book. Oh, goodness gracious. And can you guys see that? And it says, Yud is for Yoda. So let me know, or let your teachers know, or your parents know, if you have the book and you want a sticker to put inside, I'll sign it and send it to you. Oh, you already have it. You already have it. I'm sorry, I forgot. Great. Well, if you need more, let me know, because I got a little cute little case full of them. Thank you so much. I have loved every minute. If I can come, when I can come to Virginia, I will come to Virginia. It sounds like an amazing place, and you are just wonderful. So thank you for having me, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
And thank you Casey, so much for visiting here, at least virtually today. One thing to tell you that one good thing that an author can do, a children author, when you teach you touch also the adult, so the achievement. So from my point of view, I can say that people here might not know, but my choice of color here subconsciously was a protest against the Israeli soccer team that appears in your book, Maccabi Haifa, which is the arch enemy of my team from my hometown. So to protest against that, I wore the true team color. So if you ever translate your book to Hebrew, so be careful, keep the American teams, because you can get into trouble. But thank you very, very, very much for coming and sharing your book with us tonight. And I would like to thank also the participating religious schools who came to the event today: Ohev Shalom Religious School, Patricia Sarah Ashkenazi Religious School, and Tepe Emmanuel Religious School. And before we go, I would like to ask everyone to register to the Latkepalooza on Tuesday, and you will have a Kahoot game there with prizes, and you will get the link to the event. You already have in the chat box the link to the event. So please register, and thank you again, Casey, and good luck with all your book. And we're looking forward to seeing you live here in Tidewater.
And I forget to say Happy Hanukkah, Chag Sameach, everybody.